Hey everyone, my name is Ben Williams. I run a team called the War Team, and I want to share a weekly tip. Let's jump right into this. We're going to talk about mindset. If you're new to this business, mindset is everything. If you've been doing this business for a while, mindset is everything. I like to talk about it because it's just one of those things that will make or break your business. So let's hop into a couple of things that I feel that helps mindset when you're doing this business. I think you got to understand some numbers in order to approach this business with the right mindset. So, first thing that you need to understand is to perform the process, you must know the numbers. 88% of buyers and sellers say they would use the agent they used in the past. They love their agent. However, only 11% actually do repeat business. So, what does that mean? Don't be part of that 89% of agents don't stay top of mind awareness in past clients or previous clients they work with, and they are one and done and don't foster that relationship. If 89% of agents don't do that, then when you're in a transaction and it's over, then the other party that you didn't represent, there's an 89% chance that that person will not be contacted by that other agent. So you have every right to contact or whatever case would be after that agency agreement is over. You might have repeat business with someone that was on the other side of the deal later on just because you're not being part of that 89%. There's a ton of opportunity if you really think about it. 67% of buyers stay and work with the real estate agent that they're recommended to and meet in person. So there's two key things: being recommended and meeting in person. Are you selling yourself in a way to be positioned or recommended by others, family, friends, vendors, business to business? It doesn't matter. Are you in position to be recommended by folks that want to buy and sell? That's the first thing, right? Second is you have to sell the appointment. We have a whole class about that later, but selling the appointment, why somebody should meet with you, is really talk in the mindset of like, hey, what's in it for them to meet with you? You got to talk that language. All right. So 67% of home buyers will do that and stay with that agent. They are recommended and do the appointment. And 76% of sellers, if they're recommended and meet with that agent, they stay with the one agent. So that's huge, big numbers. Think about that for a second. On average, most agents, when they get a lead, cold lead or online lead, or someone passed them a number or whatever, and they don't know that person, on average, the average agent on it is going to attempt to contact this person 3 times. When it's been proven through all sales measures that most communication doesn't happen till attempt 12 to 13 times. So think about that. You're leaving money on the table if you don't perform these numbers properly. If you don't at least try to talk to someone, communicate with somebody at least 13 times before you get this whole idea about you're going to stop, then you're probably leaving money on the table. On average, 5 to 7 no's before you have a yes. Sometimes those are not even no's, those maybes and stuff like that. People just not transacting at that time. We're saying that's got to happen 5 to 7 times before you get that, hey, I want to transact. 23% of emails are not open. It's just facts. 11% of calls, they don't know the number between 8:30 and 4 p.m. They don't answer. All right. I mean, only 11% will be answered. Between 7 a.m. and 8:30 a.m., it's a higher probability. And 5:30 to 8 p.m., there's a higher probability. And Thursday being the highest call answer ratio of all the days of the week. And I have my theory. I imagine most people are between 8:30 and 4 probably at work, and they're not going to be answering these ghost calls or prank calls or whatever calls. They don't know what that person is, who that person is on the other side. 91% of Facebook messages are replied to, right? 91%. And 98% of text messages are read. These are just some small numbers to think about, but it can change how you approach or when you approach the client and how often you approach the client and how you want to be positioned to be recommended to a client. On average, it takes about 200 reach outs or dials for about 50 conversations. And for every 50 conversations, you probably have 5 appointments. And for every 5 appointments, you probably have 1 closing. Obviously, as you grow in this business, that ratio for appointments to closing will get better. There's some folks that, they're out of every 3 appointments they have, they close, or every 2 appointments they have, they close. But that's a process that as you scale your business, you get better lead source, stuff like that. Things are happening, right? So if you have the right mindset, the right environment, and take the appropriate action, life starts to respond to you a little bit differently. All right. Things start to happen in the direction that you want. The dreams start to be fulfilled and goals are met, right? You have to break each of these elements down. What do you have to do to get in the right mindset to do whatever you're doing? This could have anything to do with the F's, the faith, fitness, family, and financial. So those F's, when you think about it, you can break all of this down with all four. Are you in the right environment and taking appropriate action? It fits with all of them. I feel this just can't be mindset, and everybody talks about mindset, but I feel like there's more than just mindset when you do this business. You have to have the right environment. You have to be able to take appropriate action, and that's going to make the huge difference. All right, so that's my little tip for this week. Hope it helps and hope you approach life in a different way. See ya. Peace.